Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Plastic Battlegrounds for episode 2 of recreating the American Civil War, not Civil, American Revolution with toys. So, last episode we did Lexington and Concord, which, if you watched it, which you should have watched it, go back and watch it. It ended with the British retreating back to Boston and being being sieged in by the colonial militiamen. And that's where we're going to be picking up now today with today's episode, which is going to be the Battle of Bunker Hill, which was in front of it. But anyways, we're going to be recreating it. We're going to be using our blue bucket lid tactic that we used last time to make a river. We're going to make kind of the ocean, and we're going to try and get pretty big scale. Yeah, that looks better. It's more of a squared off like that. There's Charleston. Here's going to be the hills. Again, just like the last battle, I would like to be clear, this is going to be very condensed down because I got limited space to work with here. I kind of wish they just gave us like a massive map to work with. But then again, I don't know how much bigger I'd want to make it anyways because, you know, toy soldiers and all that. There we go. Couple of cracks, but honestly, from a distance, you don't notice it. That looks alright. It kind of looks like waves, you know? It doesn't look too bad. There's our first water, our first pool of water. Oh, there's so much to fill in. I guess we should try and get Boston here. And yeah, we can fit a little Boston. Not a lot of Boston, just like the northern part of it. I mean, it's not exactly like that, but again, this is more of a rough approximation. This isn't like I'm teaching a history lesson here or anything crazy. We did it. Oh, we did it. Oh, quick save the game. Don't risk anything. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, look at my hands. They look all silly. Oh, we did it. That took almost an hour. That was like 50 minutes of water placement. But we did it. We did it. We finished. We succeeded. Wow, it's like, man, it feels weird. Like, what do I do now? What do I do with my life? Morris Hill is like in there. And it looks like it would be like 4 of those. Yeah. And then like there is Breed's Hill. And then there's Bunker Hill, and there's the mainland. So there's Bunker Hill. It's kind of longer. There's Breed's Hill, where the main fight is going to be taking place. Morton's Hill, which was a hill. How's it looking out there? Sounds like drippily close. Anyways, Charlestown. I mean, Charlestown doesn't play a huge role. It kind of just, gets burnt down. But, I guess I should try. Boom. Alright. There's a kind of a neat little Charlestown, Like, in reality, this was a lot bigger. This whole area, Charlestown, was a lot bigger. But that looks kind of neat, You can imagine this is a pretty decent little town here. There you go. Look at that. Now we got some docks leading out of there. It doesn't look the best, but it's good enough. You get the idea of a Charlestown. You get the town. You get some docks. Good enough. What else? Oh yeah, now British ships. Rightio. There we go. Look at that. Now we have our ships with our cannon. In reality, there were more ships again than 3. There was like 2 over here. There was like a bunch around, but like we work with what we got. And what we got is like 3 ships. We will worry about that at the end. Let's keep working here. There were a couple trees kind of around. Let's get those down. Trees are down. Again, there's nothing I can really do for roads. You just have to imagine there's a road there. There's a road that goes around there. Use your imagination, people. Think about it. All right, where's my phone? Okay, we're getting close to actually almost being done here, honestly. I'm happy I can turn physics. Again, whoever told me that, you're a lifesaver. Because without turning the physics off on these, yikes. I should probably put a disclaimer here. A very clear disclaimer. Disclaimer, this is not historically accurate. This is almost entirely fictional. It is merely based on historical events, and I'm telling, like, what you see is not how it really looked. This is not how Breed's Hill looked. This is what I'm making it look like with toys. So just disclaimer, putting that out there. Don't take this as like, fact of how everything is. I am using like the Wikipedia page and the documentary to, show the events that happened, the 3 British assaults, how they were, driven back twice, and then the 3rd time the colonials were out of ammunition and they got like that. I'm going to be telling the history of what happened, but just like this visual is just for fun. This is not how anything looked. So yes, I'm basically just free balling, what looks cool, and then that's how I'm making it. So yeah. What? That pisses me off. Wait a minute. The AI, or what? How do you like stayed glued to it? All right. Hey, if he's gonna stay glued to it, I'll just put him back. I thought they like flew off it. Look at this. This is a menacing line of guys. A little this way. A little bump forward. Like that cannon is. Actually, this cannon could be bumped forward a little too. There we go. Look at this. This is a menacing line of guys. This looks cool. Yeah, look at that. I don't know what this would have looked like. I'm just going to put 1 cannon here because they're going to have enough cannons annihilating the British. They're not going to need a lot more. Gray. Props. Here we go. Look at that. That looks good. There you go. A lot less guys were on this hill, but still enough to, you know, make a ruckus. Yeah. Even the little bunker hill back here. I like the cannons. Like, this looks cool. Is it accurate? Not really, but it looks cool, man. Yeah, I think that came together well. That looks like like this looks menacing coming up against this. Like, as a trooper. Hold on here. Like, look at this. The cannons look so good up there. Imagine marching up against this, just boosh, boosh, all the fire along here. Yeah. This looks cool. Yep, it was worth putting all that water down. It took forever. Like, if you look at the map, this is how it looks, you know? Like, it may not be, the scale isn't right, but like the general feel of the map. If you look at an actual map of Bunker Hill and the peninsula it's on, this is what it looks like. You got the hill over here, you got the Breeds Hill, which maybe it looks about right. You got Bunker Hill there, and then there's like the mainland back there. And then there's Boston. You can see like there's a little bit. If you look up an actual map, it looks basically like this. But at least it looks good. So there you go. That looks pretty solid. Again, if you compare it to actual like a map, or this map I got here. By the way, the channel so far that I'm getting these documentary things that I'm using as a map is Epic Histories. I use their Lexington and Concord video, and I'm using it again for Bunker Hill. So yeah, they have a video. I just took screenshots of their video and used that to build out the map. I'm pretty happy with this, you know? I was a little worried, like, how am I going to fit Charlestown? But I fit it, you know, again, super scaled down. There's like 5 buildings here. The real Charlestown was like an actual city. But this looks good. Like, there's Boston. I mean, it's cut off because of the map, but this brings me joy to look at. I really like the lines. All right, everybody. This is actually being recorded a bit later because for the first time in my VR, or at least part of this channel, I actually have had to record for a second time because it took so long to set all this up. Hold on, I gotta delete these guys again. I guess it respawned them when I reloaded the level. But but yeah, it took so long to set all this up. Mostly the water. The water took like an hour. And I usually do like a 2-hour recording session, or, you know, hour and a half to 2 hours. And this took so long that I genuinely ran out of time and had to do a second recording session. All right. Time to tell some history. Now that we've spent a ludicrously long amount of time putting this all together. So it was actually kind of interesting. This is one little thing that at least I didn't know. Again, I'm not, you know, I don't know a ton about American Revolutionary stuff. So I actually, you know, I'm not shocked that oh wait, hold on, let me make sure I'm getting names right here before I start spouting. Okay, yeah, thought so. I actually never knew that originally the British were actually intending to take these hills in their attempt to break out of Boston. Because remember, they are They are besieged in Boston, and they were planning on occupying these hills to help them break out of their siege, of course, because they were surrounded by like 15,000 colonial militiamen. But somehow someone overheard of this plan. I mean, I'm guessing there was someone doing like some spying shenanigans. I kind of doubt the British generals were just like yapping in the middle of the town square about their plan to do this. But someone in there figured it out. They heard about it and they went to go tell the colonial militia generals and people or whatever. And then, yeah, obviously hearing of this plan, they sent in forces. So it was Colonel William Prescott. Hey, everybody, you proud of me? This time I remembered the names before doing this. Colonel William Prescott led 1,200 men into the peninsula that was, you know, had Charlestown, had Bunker Hill, and Breeds Hill. But yeah, so they did get swatted at night. They got some shelling done, and before the assault as well, They were heavily, or the British tried to shell them. According to the Wikipedia page, it did fail due to the height of the hills. The shells just couldn't really reach them. Apparently, it did destroy their water supply, though, so that is a bummer. And like one guy died, so another bummer. The British ships firing shells to little effect, of course. Yeah. The distant cannon fire and the closer cannon. Look at this cinematic hit. Yeah. So, again, like I said, in-game, they kind of melted everybody. Oh, that guy just died. Alright, let's, yeah, so in reality, the cannon... Oh, there's a shot going somewhere. In reality, the cannons do not have a lot of effect, but they did try to bombard them. There was lots of shelling. Yeah, he ordered all 128 guns in the harbor to fire on the colonial position, along with batteries atop Copp's Hill in Boston. Hey, there's Copp's Hill. Okay, that's what it's called, Copp's Hill. Yeah, so these are guns all fired. Apparently to little effect. Yeah, relatively little effect, as the hilltop fortifications were high enough to frustrate accurate aiming from the ships. So yeah, the hills were too high. Yeah, so then we have General Howe, which is that a William as well? That's why I was worried I was confusing the names, because they're both named William. It's Colonel William Prescott for the Americans, or, I mean, the Colonials, and it's General William Howe on the British side who leads the assault. So that's why I was like, wait, did I get the names wrong? Nope, this is their names. So they were, the reason Charlestown, I presume, was burnt was because they landed at 3 p.m. Oh, damn, 3 p.m. Late start to the day, eh? They landed at 3 p.m. and were taking sniper fire from Charlestown. And Howe, William Howe, our boy here from the British forces, asked Admiral Graves, which of course he has an evil-sounding name, for assistance clearing out the snipers. Graves had planned for such a possibility and ordered Caracas fired into the village. I actually looked this up again. I'll probably put a page up on screen. But it's actually really cool. Caracas is a type of early incendiary ammunition, which that's cool as hell. So he ordered that to be fired into the town. Although it does say here that then sent a landing party to set fire to the town. So I don't know if the if it didn't work or if it was like not enough on fire or something. But apparently they sent people to burn it down anyways. So, but still, cool tidbit. I didn't know that they were doing incendiary shot at the time. Now, the first attack, General Howe led light infantry companies on the left flank along the rail fence, expecting an easy effort. Yeah. Now, it says he was in a column formation, which I'm assuming column formation means instead of being in a line assaulting, he was in a column. So we're going to represent that now. All right, now we'll do the feint attack. So here is General William Howe's main force that's going to attempt to storm through here and go that way. I might have made the defense here a little thick with troops, but then again, I had to make it so these guys get slaughtered because that is what happened. There was 3 attacks on before they took the hill, and it was pretty brutal. So there's the main force that's going to punch through there. Oh yeah, this town's on fire. I don't really know how to do that, so just to use your imagination. Burning smoke. Apparently it looked really cool because there was like smoke and the wind was like pushing the smoke like not on the battlefield but like that way, so it looked really cool. That's from the Wikipedia page, I think. So apparently it looked cool. This is General William Howe's main force that's going to push through here to encircle the enemy, and over here we have a feint attack that is meant to distract the enemy and, make sure they're not just going to focus all their fire on these guys. So, and again, they famously waited to the last moment to open fire in order to inflict the heaviest of casualties, and also because their ammunition was limited. The colonial militia, it wasn't even an army yet at this point, was struggling with supplies. They did not have a lot of ammunition. So, here we are. I don't know if artillery really had any role in this, because it does mention them and then it doesn't mention them, so there they are. I don't know. But the first attempt to attack Breed's Hill, the beginning of the Battle of Bunker Hill. I guess Bunker Hill sounds cooler than Breed's Hill, so they named it the Battle of Bunker Hill. It does sound really cool. But yeah, so the first British assault on Breed's Hill. Where is a good angle? I need to get a good angle for this. Oof. Yeah, immediately taking heavy casualties. Oof. All the fire. Alright, slow motion. Commands. The British here then, after taking severely heavy casualties, of course, fell back. Alright, fast, go. The British, taking incredibly heavy casualties, then fell back. Oh, look at the line fire, bro. This looks so cool. Look at this. That looks sick. The British, yep, falling all the way back. It said some troops fell literally all the way back to their boats. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that's how they got here? They used longboats from Boston to get here. But apparently it was so bad that some troops would literally run all the way back to the ships. Yeah, we can see the carnage. We can see the brutal scene. Bodies strewn about. The colonials taking their own fair share of casualties. Up here is actually looking pretty good, but down here, which makes sense. This is where the feint attack was that got eviscerated. The second attack, they're just reformed on the field and marched out again, this time navigating a field strewn with the dead and wounded comrades. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. That's why I didn't want to have the despawning corpses, so I can represent that. Alright, let's get down low here. Yeah, look at that. Look at the line of musket men. Alright. Is this enough guys for a large-scale assault? I don't know.
Point me to the enemy.
There we go. So yeah, there's the main assault. We can see over there. It looks really cool. Look at that massive line. That looks awesome. And then here we have the small assault on this side. Again, the second attack isn't talked about much on the Wikipedia page, which that is where I'm getting my information from. I do apologize. So I'm using my imagination a bit. Let's increase the length of this line a tiny bit more. Make it a little more menacing, and of course we got to get down on the side here. Look at this. Look at them all. That looks cool. That's like the shot I like, just to see how long the line stretches out. And of course, I mean, up here, they didn't even take a lot of casualties. I mean, there's a couple of guys here behind the fence on this side, which makes sense because this is where the main assault came from. But the hill itself looks pretty untouched, which is kind of accurate, I think. I think they held off pretty well the first assault. Alright, so now we have the second British assault on Breed's Hill. They reformed the men, and at this point the men had to literally march through their dead and dying comrades towards the fortifications, which, man, imagine that, bro. That's brutal. Imagine having to march through, like, ugh, that's just rough. But yeah, so at this point they had to march through their comrades in order to again try and take Breed's Hill. For the second assault, this time we'll go from the British perspective of the main force down here. Here we go. Alright, let's go into slow motion here. As you can see, absolute pandemonium. It is brutal. Tons of redcoats getting cut down here. Although the colonials themselves are taking casualties. And at this point, the British again fell back from their positions. So yeah, absolutely brutal as they attempted their second assault on the hill. And again, we're driven back by the colonials. Alright. back to normal speed. The right flank was completely wiped out. The main assault force now falling back. The colonials are pretty happy with their success. Oh yeah, here, let's oh, we got some guys kind of... Oh, that's why we're lagging. There's like 60 British guys all piled in the mountain. Guys, what are you doing in here? Is there more? Why are there so many of you in the mountain? Get out of the mountain. Stop hiding. I know it's a brutal fight, but cheapers, man. Get out of there. All right. So yeah, the British fell back for a second time. Now we're on to the final assault. And at this point, this is actually pretty good. I thought I would have to do a lot more like respawning of guys to, you know, keep it going. I thought this would really screw up. Also, cannon, get up there. What are you doing, man? Uh-oh, I knocked this guy off his... You know what? You know what? This is realistic. This is realistic. I knocked this guy off his cannon. This is immersive, you know? We're just going to say that, you know, his cannon's out of ammo. And at this point, they're all going to be retreating anyways. Hold on. Actually, yo, immersiveness here. To wiggle them a bit, which I think will make it so they move. Because when you tell AI to hold position, even if you order them to move, they don't. I hope they switch that in the future. But that means I should be able to just kind of wiggle all these guys free of their constraints. Yeah, there was tons of confusion on Bunker Hill. They wanted to send reinforcements forward, but didn't. Or like a couple, like some few reinforcements apparently did make it. But yeah, I don't really know why it doesn't. I mean, I guess just because there's a crazy battle going on. Some people are probably like, yo, should we run? Should we fight? What do we do? I mean, especially when you have like the entire British Navy out there shelling you, even if they're kind of missing. Or not missing, but you know, difficult to aim uphill that high. So... tons of confusion on Bunker Hill. They're trying to send reinforcements forward. Apparently, very, very few actually make it forward. Yeah, at this point, William Howe ordered his men to remove the packs because they have like these packs they have on their back that have like food and stuff that you don't really need to take in the battle. So at this point, General William Howe was ordering his men like, hey, take those packs off. We need to be as light as possible to rush over the top and into their position because we're just kind of getting slaughtered out here. And yeah, but at this point, they were basically out of ammunition, which did result in it being an all-out melee brawl at the top of the hill. So I'm actually going to command these men right away as follow waypoint. I am going to select them all. Look at them all. Look at all my boys. So, yeah, I'm going to turn the AI on. So, yeah, the final and third assault, they were told to drop their packs to be as light as possible and to charge up the hill at the point of bayonet. And it was, since at this point the colonial militiamen had run out of ammunition, it was just basically devolved into a brutal melee brawl on top of the hill. So we're going to recreate that by having these guys charge up the hill in epic fashion. And of course we have the feint over there, which I guess they'll do their thing. Now, let's do this. All right, the final British assault, which finally secures Breed's Hill, begins now. All right. Up the hill, men. Go. All right, boys. Up the hill, up the hill. Come on, men. Get up there. Get up there. Come on. They're kind of getting up there. It's working, kind of. Oh, my goodness. Yep, they're overrunning. Oh, wait. I forgot about the cannon back here. I'm sorry. All right. Get off your cannon. You're out of ammunition. All right. A couple extra casualties. I'm sorry about that. All right. Returning to the battle. All right. Brutal assault. The British at point of bayonet overtake the... I mean, at this point, you know, it's a massacre. All right. And at this point, actually, I'm going to pause AI completely. All right, so at this point they've taken the hill. Actually, there's a cool little tidbit. Colonel William Prescott, you know, the guy who like was leading the men here and like orchestrating the battle and all that. He was on the front lines here, and he was actually one of the last to leave the front here, and was actually like deflecting bayonet thrusts with his saber, which is like the sickest thing ever. Because despite what you see in like video games and I guess movies and stuff, it's not really common for like, you know, officers to get in there with the sword and be doing stuff. So that's pretty cool that yeah, he was literally deflecting like saber thrusts. So at this point, I'm gonna give the cannons back their existence, but there were ships over here by the neck that did fire on the retreating colonial militiamen. That did cause some significant casualties as they retreated. So let's get back over here. So as you can see now, the British have brutally stormed. I mean, honestly, this is a pretty cool shot in of itself right here. Look at this. So the retreat of the colonial forces. Let's go. Slow motion is... Oh, no. Slow motion on. All right. AI on. Look at this. Bro, this is epic as hell. The British retreating back. Are the cannons firing? Yeah, look, they're falling off of their positions. These guys are falling back. The British cannons are firing. No! He got hit. We lost a man. They're falling back. Oh, the cannons are firing. Let's see, are they going to get a hit here? No, it looks like it's going to fall short. Almost got a hit on him. They're trying to fall back, taking casualties as they do. This man falls. No. And of course, the British don't pursue them from this point. They kind of just, you know, they let him fall back. Look at him go. He's running. Go. Go, man. He's like the last one out. Yo, this is William Prescott. This is him. He's the last one out. Go, man. I mean, he wasn't actually the last. He was one of the last ones out. Go. Go, man. Fall back. Oh, he's gonna make it. I'm following this man. Colonel William Prescott himself here. Falling back. He let off another shot. Did he hit anybody with that? No! He got hit. No. Oh, the cannons are still hitting back there. No. Alright, this is now not historically accurate. Alright, yeah, they continue to fall back to the mainland. Alright, AI off. Alright, we get the idea, Alright. It was indeed a British victory as the colonials retreat back to the mainland, and obviously they fortify here now. There it is. Oh yeah, and the evacuation was actually very swift with the colonials. They did end up leaving behind their cannons, so there you go. The cannons being left behind is a little historically accurate as well. And yeah, that's the Battle of Bunker Hill. It was a victory for the British, but also not a very good one. It was actually a pretty big morale boost to the colonials, because they were like, oh shit, we can actually put up a fight here. And it also kind of, you know, told the British, like, okay, we should like not underestimate these guys. You know, they're not just like some armed peasants. They kind of know what they're doing. The cost of the battle was, for the British, it was 226 killed and 828 wounded. That is over 1,000 total casualties. Damn. Especially considering that there in total were only, where is it? There were 3,000 British troops and over 1,000 casualties. Think about that. That is 1/3 of all the British troops that were here to assault this position. Over 1/3 were wounded or killed. That is insane. And the Americans didn't get off scot-free. There were, for the Americans, was 138 killed, 305 wounded, and 30 captured. So, of course, they didn't get away unscathed by this by any means, but it obviously was a very brutal battle. And, showed, I guess you could say it showed colonial, it showed their resolve that they wouldn't give up easily as the British might have hoped. So there it is, the Battle of Bunker Hill. So there it was. All right, well, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like on it and comment down below what you thought of the video and what you would like to see in the future. And of course, subscribe to see more videos from me in the future. And with that all being said, thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.